Hey, what's happening, guys? Dan Darrow here with another Options to Play video update. We are getting definitely our best bounce in several weeks, and really our first bounce since we had that initial move back above the 200A, right? And at the time when we had this move off the low and then the reversal, right? At the time, I did a video talking about what the type of names that I'd be looking at to possibly short into the rebound, right? And at the time, I was talking about names that we're going to be impacted by disruptions in China from the supply chain perspective and also from the demand perspective, right? Like, so if they produce in China and Chinese consumers buy their stuff in China, then that was like the first wave of things that were going to be disrupted, right? So at the time, I was talking about Nike, Apple, couple. Those were a couple ideas I was looking at into that preliminary bounce to like look at for like bearish trade ideas, right? Now, a couple weeks later, and I mean, both Nike and Apple still kind of the same story, but now into like this bounce, right? So like over like the last like week, we've had a really nice solid bounce. I am still looking at those types of names like the Apples and the Nikes, but now I'm also letting like the market kind of be my guide. And what I mean by that is that over the last 3 weeks, some stocks have been absolutely crushed, right? I mean, Apple and Nike have been hit, but not necessarily disproportionately large, right? On the other hand, Boeing absolutely crushed, right? Marriott absolutely crushed, right? Car stocks, so um, like Carvana, right? So selling like a retail, so autos, right? Absolutely crushed. Now, for me, these are the names into this bounce that I'm looking at because these were the names that were really decimated and now they're bouncing. And these are the ones that I find more interesting as possible bearish ideas, all right? And more so because of the fact that fundamentals for these companies probably aren't going to be getting better in the near term. Some of these, like Carvana, very heavily shorted, so I think you might be get a little bit of like a short squeeze rebound, right? And for these types of names, I'm looking at moves back into like key moving averages first, and if moving averages aren't necessarily in play, then key technical levels, right? So right now, what you're seeing is the similarity between the three charts I just pulled up, right? Carvana into the 20-day, Marriott into the 20-day, right? And Boeing, same thing, into the 20-day, right? So like these are like kind of like the fast setups that I'm interested in. And like I said, the market is kind of my guide because these are the names that got absolutely crushed. Now you're getting the first bounce, and I'm looking at these to like stall at lower levels. So each of those three 20-day. I mean, there are other names. There's actually a lot of other names. I mean, I didn't talk about restaurant stocks, but a lot of these names stalling at either the 8 EMA, 20, and now I'm looking at basically quick bearish setups against these types of moving averages, and I'm looking for, if not retracement all the way back to the low, um, looking for at least like a retracement of a good portion of like this recent bounce, right? Because these are kind of like the at-risk names and they're bouncing into like key moving averages, and I'm looking for like quick bearish strategies, right? So, time frame, I think April probably could work. I think May is kind of like a more conservative time frame. The problem being that implied volatility on a lot of these are still pretty high. So spreads, so like option spreads, either late April or May, to me seem kind of like interesting, just because you get like a nice combination of several weeks time for the trade to develop. Also, some of those we're going to go through like earnings catalysts. So like even though the options are out of the money, they should hold on to their value reasonably well. All right. Um, so that's what I'm looking at. This week, first couple days, I talked about different ideas for stocks that if you're looking to put money to work for either like a longer term perspective, and now I'm looking at possibly kind of like shifting the focus back to like some like shorter term ideas, and looking at certain like bear setups into like this recent bounce. All right. So if you like these videos and you're looking for more information on options education or more option trade ideas, please follow up with the link in the description of the video for more information on options to play. Stay safe, stay healthy. We're going to get through this together, all right? Have a great night, and I will talk to you all tomorrow.